Well, hello there. Check it out. Sun is just coming up over the horizon, over the mountains over there. I am not in my typical stomping grounds. I'm at Bobcat Ridge in northern Colorado. Another beautiful area, not too far from home. But today on this video, I am bringing you a review from Mammut. This is I think it's Aenergy or maybe just Energy Trail Speed, a shoe designed to go a little faster, give you a little more inspiration when you start to pick up your step a little bit. It's a shoe that I've enjoyed, but it does have a couple minor flaws. We'll get into that in today's video. I'll be talking about the overall build quality and comfort, the performance and the value, maybe compare it to another shoe that I've recently reviewed on the channel. So if you're new here, please consider subscribing. If you're already a subscriber, thank you so much. Consider joining the channel membership. Only $1 a month, just goes to help support the channel so I can continue to inform and inspire you. And of course, I have a lot more shoe and gear reviews and beautiful places to show off on the channel. I've got quite a bit of a climb to go, getting up to the very top of this hillside. While I make my way up to the top, voiceover Chad, why don't you tell us about some of the specs and features of the Mammut Aenergy, or Energy. I'm gonna say Aenergy because it starts with an A. It's probably wrong. Aenergy Trail Speed.
Mammut states, cruise through the trails and sprint to the finish line. These trail running shoes feature a dynamic midsole for excellent rebound and precise cushioning. This enhances comfort and reduces fatigue so you can focus on speed over short to middle distances, 10K to over 30K. The Aenergy Trail Speed Low Shoe delivers the high-level agility, traction, and durability you need to clinch that PB. As for some of those specs and features, you get a lightweight polyester knit upper, a tongue that is integrated into the collar and the upper of the shoe, the Core Plus midsole foam, an Ortholite insole, Flextron Pro plate for energy return, a TPU reinforced rand which protects your feet from rocks, roots, and debris, a Vibram Mega Grip light-based rubber outsole with 3.5mm lugs, 30mm heel stack, and 24mm toe stack for that 6mm drop, weighing in at only 250 grams or 8.8 ounces, and a US MSRP of $169. I should also mention that Mammut did send me this shoe for the purpose of review, but know that all thoughts, opinions, and experience are strictly my own. Chad, back over to you on the trails.
All right, 3 miles in, 1,200 feet of elevation gain. I was running up the hill, making my way up to the top right there, and I noticed this rock, how it has this different rock color right through the center, and it goes right up to there, and then continues right here, and then it just continues right through here. Isn't that so interesting? Alrighty, still making my way up to the top as I had mentioned, and I apologize for the wind, and it is a little bit of wind, which actually feels pretty good on a warm morning like this. Let's talk about the build quality and the comfort of the Mammut Aenergy Trail Speed. It almost seems like Mammut went to the North Face and said, hey, here's a midsole. We want you to build a shoe, a good shoe around this. And then they did. Okay, so I don't know if that's actually what happened, but the build of the Trail Speed really reminds me of the North Face, and I think it's that upper. It's a breathable engineered upper. It reminds me of the North Face Summit Vective Sky 2 and maybe the Ultra 3 or the Endurus 4. So the overall build kind of reminds me of that, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. It definitely is built well. I feel like it came together really well, and Mammut is introducing quite a few different componentry to the shoe. Componentry. In addition to that engineered upper, the tongue is really integrated into the upper. There's no need for any gussets because it's literally just built into the upper, and it's a nice kind of a knit material. There is not much padding when it comes to the tongue where the laces are. I kind of feel the laces, but they're evenly distributed. I did find this morning when I tightened up the shoe that there was one spot that was too tight and I had to relace it. Once I got the lacing done correctly, it just lays nice and flat across the top of your foot, giving you a good, secure, and overall comfortable hold. Now that tongue material, that knit, does integrate and wrap around your ankle and heel, so it's got kind of an integrated collar that helps to keep debris out. And I'll show you here. So you can see it's a stretchy material and integrated all the way around the ankle there. Now, one downside to this design is that I do put a little bit of KT tape on my Achilles because I have had it rub into my Achilles just enough to notice a little bit of redness. The other thing worth mentioning on that build and comfort is that sometimes I do feel this, the edge of this collar on my ankles on both sides, mostly the outside, but I do feel it a little bit here. Part of it is that, I don't know, it just doesn't, maybe the height of it perhaps, but even less so than that. I think it's just that this is a sharper, more rigid edge. So that rubbing hasn't really been problematic, but it is noticed, and I think some people may find it to become an irritation or even a hot spot while running. So that is one of the flaws when it comes to the comfort and the build. Other than that, it does do a good job at keeping rocks and debris out. Actually, a very, very good job. Moving down into the midsole, it's soft, it's comfortable. I do wish it was a little bit more bouncy underfoot, especially for a tempo or speed oriented type of shoe, but otherwise it's fine. I'll talk a little bit more about that experience in the performance section of this video. And then moving all the way down, you get the Vibram light base outsole, 3.5 millimeter lugs. That is a great outsole, very well made, high quality, very grippy. So overall build quality, I'm gonna give build quality a thumbs up. Comfort, oh, I should mention, the shoe is narrow, not a wide fitting shoe by any means, so definitely a narrow fit around the ankle, around the midfoot, and even in the toe box. And then the toe box does taper right here, pretty sharp. So just know that, you know, it feels kind of wide right here in the shoe, but it does taper out kind of to that point pretty quick. Yeah, so just narrow fitting, sporty fitting shoe. I also forgot to mention, sorry, on the build that the shoe has some underlays, as I call them. So they're additional textile pieces of fabric that are part of the upper, but on the inside of the shoe. And they line the toe box a little bit. They line the side of the shoe on the medial and lateral side. And they help to offer a little bit more support, a little bit more security around the foot, giving you just a solid hold, really wraps around your foot well. Okay, so thumbs ups for build quality. Actually, excellent build quality on this shoe. Comfort, I don't know, I'm gonna have to kind of go a sideways thumb because of that ankle and the way that they've, I don't know, just a little too rigid, not quite enough padding, and the knit collar, especially around the Achilles, tends to just rub a little bit. So that's my rating on comfort. Okay, I am well distracted, although the views are absolutely stunning, just gorgeous. Wow. Yep, beautiful morning, a little windy. Again, I apologize, but let's get it to the top. Maybe on the way back down, get into some tree coverage and won't have the wind so much. I'll talk about the performance of the Aenergy Trail Speed. Man, I cannot get over those views behind me. It's just stunning. And then we get some more pretty views up the mountains back here. Just pretty. Just so pretty, just kind of a unique area. I don't know, I'm really enjoying myself this morning. Just having so much fun. Alrighty, enough with the distractions, on with the video performance of the Aenergy Trail Speed. There are quite a few things that I really like when it comes to performance and the experience in the shoe. Gotta follow these black dots. Again, getting distracted. Okay, I'm gonna start with the bottom of the shoe actually. Where do I need to go? This way. That outsole rubber, the Vibram light base, does a great job. Very confidence inspiring. The lugs are deep enough that they grip into everything, but not so deep that they become heavy or cumbersome. I think this is exactly what you want, especially in a speed-oriented shoe. Okay, you could go to maybe 4.5 millimeter lugs, but the 3.5 millimeter lugs seem to do just fine. So I really like that outsole rubber performance. There is kind of a plastic plate in this shoe. It offers one, protection underfoot, and two, just a little bit of stability and spring at toe off. Speaking of toe off, there's a little bit of a rocker to this shoe. Whew. Right at toe off, you get just a nice little encouragement as you roll off into your toes. It's not so aggressive that it becomes controlling. I definitely feel controlled in the shoe. I gotta figure out where I'm navigating here through these rocks. Okay. The other thing that I actually really like in the experience is that the shoe offers really good protection. I don't know, just the way that it's built. Maybe it's that plate, and maybe it's the way that the upper wraps around my foot, but I feel really secure and really well protected in the shoe and underfoot. So no matter what I'm stepping on or the type of terrain I'm going over, I just feel confident. I feel like I can navigate through it well, quickly, and yeah, confidently. I guess that's the word, confidence. This is a confidence-inspiring shoe. The other thing that I like is that this shoe becomes rewarding when you start to pick up the pace. I do wish, however, that midsole was a little more bouncy. It's good and it's dynamic and offers some bounce and definitely some good cushioning. It's not bad. I've enjoyed my experience. It feels fast. It is encouraging. Just want a little more bounce. It's a good thing the outsole grip is really good on this shoe. Otherwise, navigating through all these rocks would be a little more precarious. It's a lot of fun though. I also really like the secure hold of the upper. Just wraps around my foot really well. I really like that more sporty fit. If I were gonna run really long distance in this shoe, I would want a little more padding, especially around the ankle and the heel, maybe in the tongue. I think that's probably an area for general improvement. But for those shorter distances, especially those faster efforts, I think the upper is exactly what you need, with nothing more that you don't want. I like that the upper is very breathable, especially in the toe box. I can feel the air moving through the upper and into my toes. And then overall, the entire package of the shoe is lightweight. It feels lightweight. It is lightweight, 250 grams if I'm not mistaken. Again, I've had to take a couple extra precautions, slightly taller socks, and some KT tape on the Achilles just to make sure that I don't rub anything raw. So far, I'm only 6 miles in, feeling just fine though. The performance of the Aenergy Trail Speed is very good. I've had a positive experience in it. It's encouraging, especially for those slightly faster efforts and paces. Whew. Again, I'm so glad that this has a good outsole rubber and grip, because that would have been really risky without that. Of course, if you have any questions, definitely drop a comment down below. Let me know if I missed anything and you have any questions about the show. I already said that questions part. All right, drop a comment down below. Let's get down this here and continue on with the review, talking about value and compare it to a couple other shoes as well. You know, it's interesting, I feel like I'm in kind of the plains or the plateau, a flatter area. I have about 1,000 feet of altitude to drop before going back down into the valley closer to where the car is. Clear down there. Such a pretty area. These rock formations over here. Oh, how cool. All right, so now value. The Mammut Aenergy Trail Speed comes in at US MSRP of $169. I think just because you can doesn't necessarily mean you should. In other words, just because you can charge a certain price for a shoe doesn't necessarily mean that you should. In my opinion, what do I know? I'm not Mammut. I'm not the marketing expert. But $169, I think, while competitive, it's still a lot of money to pay for a shoe, even a shoe as good as this one. Is it worth it? Maybe, but I do think there are a couple other shoes to consider. First one that came to mind was a shoe that I just recently reviewed, the Adidas Terrex Gravic Speed 2. That shoe comes in at $165, so pretty close in price. Comparable stack height, although technically it's advertised as having a few more millimeters underfoot. The Speed 2 feels a little more closer, a little more connected to the ground. It feels like there's less stack compared to the Aenergy Trail Speed. Now, part of that could be that the Trail Speed has that plate underfoot, slightly removing or disconnecting you from the trail compared to the Adidas Speed 2. Speed 2 definitely feels connected, has a great underfoot feel, feels very stable, but your foot is a little bit more exposed to the rocks and all the other feelings underfoot. That's not necessarily a bad thing, but it's just a difference that I noticed. Oh, look at this view. Okay, again, getting distracted by the views. This is spectacular. I'm loving this, man. Okay, another shoe to compare it to. It doesn't compare in price, but the North Face Sky 2, a carbon plated trail racer, also designed for those shorter distances. I love that shoe. It's a great shoe. Did have a slight blister issue from the carbon plate on my, right behind my big toe. So I had to switch out the insole. Not cool for a $220 shoe. So does not compare in price, but that underfoot experience and the overall shoe actually really reminds me of the Trail Speed that I've got on today. Oh man, this is spectacular. Whew. So $169 is competitive. You're getting a lot of good shoe for that price. You're getting a plastic plated shoe with some comfort and dynamic underfoot experience. You're getting a great outsole rubber with that Vibram light base. You're getting a good upper, breathable, and an overall package that is very lightweight and fun to run in. A package that is protective and that you can race in if you chose to. Let me put it this way. At $169, this is not the shoe that I would immediately be like, I've got to buy this shoe. But if I can get it on sale, it is one that I would seriously consider. Now, there's a lot of competition, a lot of great shoes out there. Mammut, you've got a little bit more work to do to really stand out. But the Trail Speed is a great option. You've done a good job with this shoe, and it's probably overlooked by most. and I'm glad that I've had the opportunity to put some miles in the shoe. Let's continue on with this nice, long, beautiful descent. And then we'll get back to the car and wrap the video up. I just transitioned off of the single track and the gravel path onto the concrete path, which means I'm really close to the car. Well, that was an enjoyable run. Now, one more thing with the shoe. There is this cutout to expose the plate, and that is a nice little occasional rock collector. I'll pick up the little pebble every once in a while and dig it out and pull it out. So that doesn't become a problem. It's just kind of a little design quirk. And I did roll my ankle a couple times. One to run. Ow! In other words, well, I need to watch my step. Not the fault of the shoe, I don't think. I honestly think it was my own fault not watching my step. And because I'm still coming off of sciatic nerve pain, which is affecting my left leg, a little bit of the sensation, a little bit of strength in my calf, which causes me to roll my ankle a little bit easier. Again, not the shoe's fault, much more my own fault. So just continuing to get stronger, get better, heal up from that still. It took me out for over a month of running. But I'm grateful to be back. Grateful to be out running, hitting the trails like this, and of course bringing you some more shoe reviews, finally, right? All right, much more coming to the channel, a lot more shoe and gear reviews, some more run ventures, and who knows what else, the occasional vlog and such. So if you made it this far in the video and you are not subscribed, please subscribe. I'm gonna get to the car, cool off, go home, get some breakfast. I'll see you on the next video. Thanks for being here. Remember to be consistent, express gratitude, and enjoy every mile, as I have today in the Mammut Aenergy Trail Speed. I'll see you on the next video. Bye now. 11.5 miles over 1,900 feet of elevation gain. Not bad.